Hello everyone, this is Prem Sodani coming up with the next round of our quiz session, and in this session we generally discuss some of the very important current affairs in terms of question and answers. So let's get started with 29th December's current affairs in terms of question and answers. The first question says, with reference to green term ahead market, that is GTAM, consider the following statement. The first statement says it is an alternative new model introduced for selling of the power by the renewable developers in the open market. The second statement says contracts under GTAM would also include non-solar renewable purchase obligations. So let me discuss here about this one. The problem with renewable energy manufacturers was, producers was reselling or selling, right? So in this selling case, they have to follow certain norms, and there are certain discoms or the distributors, that is power discoms or the power distribution agencies. So what they need to do, these reproducers or these renewable energy producers has to sell their energy to the power discoms, right? And that was supposed to be done with the help of purchasing power obligations. Purchasing power obligations means कुछ पार्ट इनका जो है एनर्जी का, और जो that some part of their energy has to be procured by these renewable energy producers, ठीक है. लेकिन इसमें एक दिक्कत थी. फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि these PPAs जो हैं, that PPA जो हैं purchasing power agreements, they were of long term in nature. The first thing is, द सेकेंड इज कि कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइसेस यहाँ पे नहीं मिलते थे, तो यहाँ पे जो प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं उनको नुकसान होता था, समटाइम्स इनको भी नुकसान रहता है, एंड दैट इज द इश्यू ऑफ कंटेंशन बिटवीन दीज टू, राइट. द फर्स्ट थिंग इज दिस इज लॉन्ग टर्म बॉन्ड टाइप होता है. द सेकेंड थिंग इज द प्राइसेस आर नॉन कॉम्पिटिटिव. सो इसको अभी रिजॉल्व करने के लिए वी केम अप विद द आइडिया ऑफ दिस ग्रीन टर्म अहेड मार्केट. Okay, so now these renewable energy producers would have a kind of mechanism. Now they can sell their energy in a open market. So open market जो access है ये मिला है to these renewable energy producers. Now they can sell their energy, जो renewable energy उन्होंने produce की है, in the open market. मीन्स अब जो है प्राइस डिस्कवरी ज्यादा बेटर होगी, एंड फॉर दैट कंपिटिटिव प्राइसेस जो हैं वो भी इनको मिलेंगे, एंड नाउ दे विल आल्सो गेट बूस्ट. इनके पास भी एक इंसेंटिव होगा व्हाई दे शुड गो टुवर्ड्स दिस रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी generation. Okay, so this is the new mechanism. So this statement says this is the true, first statement is true. The second thing is this is also true. अब जो renewable energy producers हैं, they can have two type of the this type of the selling, that is one would be non solar and the second would be solar. ठीक है, तो दोनों ही तरह की होगी. नॉन सोलर में आपके दूसरे रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सोर्सेज, फॉर एग्जांपल विंड एनर्जी है, तो ऐसे वाले जो सोर्सेज हैं वो आ जाएंगे. सोलर में आपकी सोलर एनर्जी. सो दिस इज आल्सो ट्रू. द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स अंडर जीटीएम जो है उसमें नॉन सोलर भी इंक्लूडेड है एंड सोलर वाला भी इंक्लूडेड है. ओके, सो दिस इज अबाउट दिस जीटीएम, दैट इज ग्रीन टर्म अहेड मार्केट. रिमेंबर, ग्रीन शोज रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, मार्केट शोज ओपन मार्केट. सो ग्रीन टर्म जो ये अहेड मार्केट है, दैट इज रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का एक ओपन मार्केट है, ओपन प्लेटफॉर्म है, जिसमें बेटर प्राइस डिस्कवरी होगी, बहुत सारे इंसेंटिव्स मिलेंगे टू दीज प्रोड्यूसर्स. ओके, कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, दैट इज विद रेफरेंस टू कावी आर्ट, कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स. It is a kind of sculpture modeling, and the second is this art was introduced by the Portuguese in India. Recently, in Man Ki Baat, Prime Minister has referred this art, that is Kavi art. Remember, this Kavi art is of Konkan region. This Kavi art is of Konkan region. Konkan region means Goa, primarily Goa, then Maharashtra and your Karnataka. ठीक है, so this art is found here in these Konkan areas, and इसमें याद रखना कि this was all introduced by these Portuguese only. Till 1961 Portuguese थे यहाँ पे, तो Portuguese ने ही ये जो art है ये develop कराई थी यहाँ पे. And this is not a sculpture modeling, ठीक है, this is a kind of plaster जो होती है ना, that is fresco painting type. Fresco, right? Fresco means जो वेट लाइन पे की जाती है, वेट लाइन प्लास्टर पे की जाती है. सो दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ वेट लाइन प्लास्टर पेंटिंग्स, राइट. एंड द वन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कि दिस काउ जो है, काउ इन कोंकणी मीन्स रेड इन कलर, राइट, रेड कलर. सो ये जो आपकी स्कल्पचर्स, ये सॉरी जो आपकी प्लास्टर पेंटिंग्स हैं या फिर फ्रेस्को पेंटिंग्स हैं, दे वुड बी primarily of this red color. Cow means red, okay, and this red color is achieved या obtained from this laterite soil, है ना, laterite soil जो यहाँ पे होती है, ठीक है. So this is about this kavi art. अगर आपको मैं दिखाना चाहूँ about this kavi art, so this is the kavi art. You can see here the primarily जो color है that was used, that is red in color, okay. So this is about kavi art. Remember in Konkan areas, okay. So answer would be both of them. Sorry, this is not true. This is not a sculpture. So this is not true. This is true. Answer would be 2 only. Coming to the next question, that is with reference to Data Protection Authority, that is DPA, proposed under the Personal Data Protection Bill, consider the following statement. I have covered this Personal Data Protection Bill also in a separate video. You can go and watch this video. So here we'll discuss about this one, that is DPA primarily. So DPA जो है, let me discuss here, then we'll go to the statements. So DPA जो है, that was made under this in this bill. So DPA's primarily task is, this is a statutory body and the regulatory mechanism would be implemented by this one, means it is a primarily a regulator. अब आप जब डेटा प्रोटेक्शन की बात करते हैं तो वहां पे क्या होगा, इंडिविजुअल्स का डेटा होगा and the data would be collected and managed by some entities, and these entities would be known as data fiduciary, and these data fiduciaries जो हैं, they will be regulated by this DPA, ठीक है. तो ध्यान रखना, the task of DPA is the regulation, and for that regulatory जो norms होंगे, they will also be made by this body, right. So it will have the power of civil court. ये ध्यान रखना आप, civil court की power होंगी, means they can summon these data fiduciaries. अगर ये non compliance में आते हैं तो they will be summoned by this DPA, ठीक है. सो सिविल पावर्स जो हैं, सिविल कोर्ट की पावर्स होंगी, एंड दे कैन ऑल्सो पेनलाइज, ठीक है, पेनलाइज भी कर सकते हैं, पेनल्टी प्रोविजंस भी यहाँ पे हैं. एंड फॉर दिस सिविल कोर्ट दे कैन ऑल्सो डिनाई दीज डेटा फिड्यूशरीज टू देयर राइट ऑफ डूइंग ट्रेड या बिजनेस, ठीक है. तो वो भी यहाँ पे डिनाई हो सकता है, राइट टू ट्रेड एनीवेयर इन इंडिया, आपने पढ़ा होगा अंडर आर्टिकल 19, ठीक है. So this can also be denied by this DPA if they are in non-compliance with the regulation of this DPA. Okay, so ये है DPA. तो ध्यान रखना, civil court है, power of civil courts, penalty provisions है, they can also deny the right to trade anywhere in India जो आपका article 19 है, to these data fiduciaries, and data fiduciaries को जो पूरा compliance है, that is to be seen by this DPA. ठीक है, this is about DPA. Now, what is the problem with this DPA? The first thing is कि आप यहां पे देखेंगे तो रेगुलेटरी नॉर्म्स भी यही बना रहे हैं, इंप्लीमेंटेशन भी यही करा रहे हैं, एंड देन एडजुडिकेशन जो होगा, मींस कैसे वो मतलब उसके ऊपर फैसला होगा, डाउट्स होंगे या डिस्प्यूट्स होंगे, दे विल आल्सो बी सॉल्व बाय दिस डीपीए. द फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम इज द सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर इज बीइंग कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड हियर, यानी एक ही बॉडी रूल्स भी बना रही है, उनको इंप्लीमेंट भी करा रही है, एंड फाइनली उनके ऊपर एडजुडिकेशन भी कर रही है. सो दिस इज अगेंस्ट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सेपरेशन ऑफ द पावर. दिस इज द वन इशू. द सेकेंड इशू इज कि दिस विल बी there will be some permanent members in this DPA and they will form some of the regulations, और वो regulations जो हैं उनके ऊपर कोई scrutiny नहीं होगी, यानी kind of वो final norms होंगे जो इन्होंने बना दिए, right? So there is no scrutiny mechanism, especially the rule made by this DPA जो है उनके ऊपर कोई scrutiny mechanism नहीं है. This is the second issue, ठीक है. And the third issue you can understand from here, that is under Article 19, doing business or trade in anywhere or any part of the India is the fundamental right under Article 19, and यहाँ पे अगर उनको deny किया जाता है to data fiduciaries, so that is also a one concern, ठीक है. So ये कुछ इससे related concerns थे and doubts थे. Now we come to this let's discuss about these statement. That is, it would be a statutory regulatory authority. Yes, that is true. This is a statutory regulatory body. So this is statement 1 is true. It will have the powers of a civil court. Yes, this is true. So they can call for the information to the data fiduciaries. Yes, they can be called upon. The third statement says regulations drafted by the authority to carry out the provisions of the bill will have the force of the law. Means उनके मतलब बिल्कुल वो ऐसे ही होंगे जैसे लॉ बनाया गया है. दैट इज ऑल्सो ट्रू. मैंने आपको बताया कि देयर इज नो स्क्रूटिनी ओवर दीज नो रूल्स स्पेशली फॉर्म्ड बाय दिस बॉडी दैट इज DPA. ओके, सो ऑल दीज थ्री स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू रिगार्डिंग दिस वन. सो आंसर वुड बी ऑल 1, 2 and 3 आर करेक्ट. ओके, coming to the next question that is regarding soybean meal. ठीक है, so consider the following statement. It is the byproduct of petroleum industry. So this is obviously wrong because this is soybean. So it would be the byproduct of soybean industry or soybean oil industry, right? Soybean oil industry. So this is definitely false. The second statement says it is an essential commodity under Essential Commodities Act of 1955. This is true. Recently it was declared as an essential commodity under this act. Let me discuss here what is the news about this one. So first thing is ki this is the byproduct of this soybean oil industry. This is the one thing. The second thing is it is used as an animal feed in general, animal feed, and sometimes it is also used in human feeds. Okay, so this can be said it is used in a animal feed primarily. The second statement says ki it is declared as an essential commodity, right? Essential commodity. So let me introduce here what do you mean by essential commodity. Means now government has the full control on its supply, on its production and on its distribution. Especially why we are doing that, because in order to have the equal accessibility, or if we want to prevent some of the unscrupulous traders from hoarding or stocking, अगर हम काला बाजारी रोकना चाहते हैं स्पेशली ऑन दीज एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज या किसी भी कमोडिटी पे, तो गवर्नमेंट उसको एसेंशियल कमोडिटी डिक्लेयर कर देती है. राइट नाउ गवर्नमेंट हैज द फुल कंट्रोल. अब वहां पे स्टॉक लिमिट्स लग सकती है. काला बाजारी को रोकने के लिए गवर्नमेंट वहां पे स्टॉक लिमिट लगा देगी कि दिस इज द मैक्सिमम कैपेसिटी विच यू कैन स्टोर. Okay, so this is about the essential commodity. Remember Essential Commodities Act जो है 1955 that talks about, इसमें एक शेड्यूल है that is section 2A and that says कि essential commodity जो है उनकी कोई definition नहीं है यहाँ पे. It says कि whatever is mentioned in the schedule of this essential commodities, जो भी आपने यहाँ पे रख दिया that means it is a essential commodity. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे कोई proper definition नहीं है. The only thing which is mentioned here is कि the article or the good which is mentioned under this ECA or the schedule of the ECA will be termed as an essential commodity. Now which is the authority which can declare this essential commodity? The answer is central government with the help of, with the consultation of the state. ठीक है, so any commodity can be declared as essential commodity with the by this central government with consultation of states. ठीक है, now if a commodity जो है उसको अगर आपने essential commodity declare कर दिया, now government has the full control over this one. Let me erase all these things. So now if for example this is declared as an essential commodity by central government, okay, by central government, now government will have the control on its supply, प्रोडक्शन एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. ठीक है, तो ये कंट्रोल जो होगा ये क्यों लाया गया है? बिकॉज इट इज वेरी वेरी एसेंशियल. तो ये एसेंशियल कमोडिटी का पूरा कॉन्सेप्ट है. ठीक है, तो ये आपको ध्यान रखना है. सो लेट मी डिस्कस हियर. दिस इज ट्रू एंड दिस इज नॉट द बाय प्रोडक्ट ऑफ पेट्रोलियम इंडस्ट्री. सो दिस इज नॉट ट्रू. द आंसर वुड बी 2 ओनली. Okay, coming to the next question, and that talks about the Counter-Terrorism Committee of UNSC. Consider the following statement. It was established in the wake of 9/11 terror attack in the US. This is true. Okay, let me discuss that one also. India will chair the Counter-Terrorism Committee in 2022. This is true for the first time, but this is not true. This is not the first time. India is chairing this Counter-Terrorism Committee after the period of 10 years, right? It means we already chaired this committee 10 years back, right? So this is not true, but this is true. The answer would be this one. Let me discuss here. It was the UN resolution of 1373 where this committee was created, that is UN Counter-Terrorism Committee, CTC. So what is the aim of this CTC? It was created in the wake of, after this 9/11 attacks of US. Remember this one. So what is the aim? The aim is to counter the terrorism activities or the terrorism. Okay, so how we can counter that terrorism? So we have to eliminate the safe havens. Means ऐसे countries या ऐसे places जो टेररिज्म को बढ़ावा देते हैं, या फिर यूं कहें कि टेररिज्म की फैक्ट्री भी है कई तो हमारे यहाँ पे, फॉर एग्जांपल पाकिस्तान. So Pakistan is not doing nothing but it is exporting its terrorism दूसरी कंट्रीज में पहुंचाना, ठीक है, तो उसको काउंटर करना है। तो ऐसे जो कंट्रीज होती है जहां पे टेररिज्म को सपोर्ट मिलती है, दे आर नोन एज सेफ हेवंस। सो व्हाट इज द एम ऑफ दिस सीटीसी? टू काउंटर दीज सेफ हेवंस, इनको एलिमिनेट करना। जो आपको फंडिंग सपोर्ट होती है, those funding supports जो मिलती है टेररिज्म को, that has to be eliminated. This is the second aim. And any direct or indirect support जो है, that should be eliminated, and this is the aim of the CTC. And also with these aims, it also monitors the efforts of the members। जो यहाँ पे मेंबर क्या एफर्ट कर रहे हैं उनको भी मॉनिटर करता है, राइट। सो इसमें इंडिया जो है, रिमेंबर इंडिया इज गोइंग टू चेयर दिस आफ्टर 10 years इन जनवरी 2022 जो इसकी मीटिंग होनी है, तो ये याद रखना। सो दिस स्टेटमेंट इज यहाँ पे गलत हो जाता है, दिस इज नॉट द फर्स्ट टाइम, रिमेंबर आप ध्यान से पढ़ना, तो ये फर्स्ट टाइम नहीं है। सो दिस इज ट्रू, so answer would be 1 only, okay। Coming to the next question, that is with reference to state energy efficiency index, consider the following statements. It tracks the progress of energy efficiency initiatives in both states and union territories. This is true, right? So in this index, what is there? There are total 36 states and union territories which are included in this initiative. This is true. There are total 97 indicators which are being used for measuring these state energy efficiency performances of the states and union territories. So this is true. It is developed by Bureau of Energy Efficiency in association with Alliance for an Energy Efficient Economy. This is also true. Let me discuss here about the BEE. So it was the Ministry of Power under which this BEE was formed, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It was formed under this Electricity Act of 2001, okay। So remember, this is a statutory body. So what is the aim of this BEE? Its name itself suggests that the aim of this Bureau of Energy Efficiency is to decrease the energy इंटेंसिटी इन आर इकोनॉमी, यानी कि जो एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी है उसको लाना है हमारी इकोनॉमी में, ज्यादा से ज्यादा जो इंटेंसिटी है उसको कम करना है, ठीक है। सो इसके लिए बहुत सारे ये नए नए इनिशिएटिव्स लेके आते हैं एंड उनको इंप्लीमेंट कराते हैं। सो अंडर दीज इंप्लीमेंटेशंस ओनली दीज 97 इंडिकेटर्स आर बीइंग यूज्ड, ठीक है, कि कौन से स्टेट एंड यूनियन टेरिटरीज इस डायरेक्शन में, एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी की डायरेक्शन में कैसे काम कर रहे हैं, दे आर मेजर्ड विद दीज 97 इंडिकेटर्स, राइट। एंड दिस इज द इनिशिएटिव ऑफ BEE, रिमेंबर, along with this is that is Alliance for an Energy Efficiency Economy, that is AEEE, okay। So these two statements are true, the answer would be both 1 and 2, okay। So this was today's quiz. I hope आपको काफी कुछ सीखने को मिला होगा। अगर ऐसा है तो इसे शेयर एंड लाइक कीजिए, and if you have any doubt or any suggestion, you can comment that down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching this initiative.
Current Affairs by Forum IAS is an all-in-one program that covers the dynamic aspect of the syllabus from both prelims and mains perspective. Last year, we have helped more than 100 students crack IAS with our current affairs classes.